on everybody and welcome back to Frankie's Aquatics right here on the wonderful platform that is YouTube. Now before we get started, you might notice that it's a little bit dull and miserable here today. It's obviously nearing Christmas, it's winter. I'm currently relying on natural light. There is a little bit of a glow coming from this side, and that'll be my Christmas tree. My Christmas tree's over there and all my Christmas lights. It looks like Stranger Things. Let me show you real quick. Look. Ho ho no, ho ho no. So this week's video is going to be something that I really enjoy doing. I get a lot of questions asked about axolotls, how to care for them, what they feed. Loads of questions, some of them are repeated quite a lot. So rather than keep pointing people in the same sort of direction, I thought I'd rather just make a video, and any questions that come up that might be helpful to you guys, I will share my answers with you guys too. So without further ado, this is Axolotl questions. I think it's part 3. Maybe part 3. I'm freezing. I am absolutely freezing. One sec, I've got an idea. One sec. I don't think this is going to work. Don't fit me. I can't move. I'm going to get this off. I'm not even joking. I'm stuck in this now. I'm not even joking. I'm stuck. Get help. Any better? Anyone will notice? Think anyone will notice? Okay, I'll roll with it. This week's no, can't do it. It's too silly. So without further ado, let's get cracking with this week's video. Let's go. I'm going to go this way. I'm going to go wherever the heat's taking me. Sunshine, where are you? My axolotl has laid eggs. Are they fertile? The chances are if your axolotl has laid eggs, they will absolutely be fertile. Axolotls don't tend to drop their eggs unless they are actually fertilised. What they'll tend to do is they'll reabsorb them if they are no good, essentially. So if you see your axolotl looking a little bit plump, no comments or questions needed to the plumpness around here. Thank you very much. If your axolotls are looking a little bit plump and a little bit big around the waist, chances are they're either gravid or they are carrying eggs that are going to soon be laid all over your tank. If you keep them in pairs, it's really important that you kind of work out you have a male and a female once they reach sexual maturity, which varies, but I tend to use the rule of thumb. Around about a year of age, you'll start to notice if they're a male or a female. Now, if you want to breed, that's fantastic, because as long as you keep them happy, well fed, and their water parameters nice and clean, they will breed happily. If you don't want them to breed, then it's not a very good idea that you keep them together. No. So Mr. and Mrs. have to go. Otherwise, you'll have babies everywhere. I love babies, but babies will be everywhere. So yes, the rule of thumb is that axolotl will not lay eggs that are not fertilised. So basically, if you see eggs within your tank, they will pretty much guarantee to be fertilised. Obviously, it's how you care for them from there to how successful the hatch rate will be. You can leave them in and have a natural kind of, I say birth, it's not classed as a birth, a natural kind of, what is the word? Why do I muddle dizzy words all the time? You can obviously leave them in the tank, but obviously as and when they hatch, you're going to have to separate them away from their mum and dad. Otherwise, mum and dad will see them as little snacks. Sounds pretty brutal. It'd make quite the horror movie, to be quite honest. But if you leave the babies in there and they swim past mummy and daddy of a certain size, mummy and daddy are going to eat them. And it'll be carnage. Carnage everywhere. So the best thing you can do, in my honest opinion, is separate them off. Separate them off, put them into dechlorinated water. Don't touch them for 3 weeks, and usually within 3 weeks you'll start to see little babies hatching out of their eggs. They're a lot of work, it's very time consuming, it can be quite expensive, but if that's something you're wanting to do, it can also be extremely rewarding too. Just bear in mind, I've said this in previous videos, but just bear in mind, be responsible. Your babies that start off this big will soon be this big, and then obviously you're going to have lots of babies on your hands and probably nowhere to actually take them to or sell them to or send them to. So make sure if you are considering breeding, be sensible and make sure you've got your I don't know why I said budgie. Make sure you've got a budgie. Make sure you've got a budgie. Make sure you've got a budgie. Make sure you've obviously got either set homes or a sensible plan ahead of yourself in order to take care of these axolotls. Because the last thing you'd need is hundreds of axolotls on your hands. It's not a mouse to feed. I know. But I do this for a living, so I know. And just be sensible. That's all I'm telling you. I'm like your mum. When you reach a certain age, your mum and daddy can sit you down and go, right, we need to have a talk with you. Right, you need to be sensible now, okay? You're getting older now. You're now a young adult. Kind of feel like that, but you have to be sensible, because axolotls are beautiful animals, as we all kind of agree. I sure hope we all agree. But if you haven't got a game plan, then you're going to end up with literally hundreds of axolotls on your hands, and you're going to be screaming out for help. Don't be looking my direction. No, I'm only joking. Just be sensible. Be sensible. Yeah, do that. So axolotls are nearing extinction. Why do you choose to keep them in captivity? In cages, someone said to me once. Why do you keep them in a cage? It's not a cage, it's a tank. It's an aquarium. Shh. Not pulling hairs here, but you know, it's not a cage. So axolotls are, rightfully so, they are, you're absolutely right, the people that asked this question, they are nearing extinction. Why would axolotls are on the brink of extinction? It's quite sad as to why. It's basically down to human error. It's that we're invading their environments, we are polluting their waters, and we're causing all sorts of problems for axolotls. If it wasn't for us, axolotls would be living strife, they'd be everywhere. They'd be flourishing in the lakes of Mexico, but unfortunately that's not the case. Now what people tend to get a little bit mixed up here is the axolotls that we keep in captivity are completely different hybrid to the wild type axolotls that are out in the wild. They are very genetically different, and truth be told, our axolotls wouldn't survive out in them waters. They would deplete probably very, very quickly with the state of the water. But not only that, you'd be putting hybrids back into the wild, which essentially upsets the natural balance. So you can't release our sort of axolotls because they are completely different. They're a completely different hybrid to how the axolotls in the wild actually are. So although you think you're doing a good deed by releasing them and letting them live a free life, essentially you're causing more harm than good. And I think it's actually illegal to do that. So don't be doing that. If you do it, I'm going to come for you and I'm going to tickle you. I'm going to tickle you silly. Another one to get asked quite a lot is, can I use live plants within my axolotl's aquarium? You can. Just be sensible on what you use and don't use anything that's too dainty and delicate, because axolotls are quite clumsy and they will happily squash their big backsides or just about everything they can kind of balance themselves on. So live plants included, so you'll end up having squashed plants rather quickly. You can persevere and keep replanting and rebedding the plants, but the truth be told, axolotls are really clumsy swimmers and they'll knock plants off here, there and everywhere. If you've got the patience and you're into your escaping and all that, you can provide a beautiful environment. But for me personally, from my experience, I tend to find that every time I've tried using live plants, they just end up getting destroyed really quick. And then on second thought, you need to be sensible on what you're using in regards to if an axolotl should swallow a part of that plant for whatever reason. So make sure the plants that you're using are obviously safe and all that funky stuff that comes with it. Don't use anything. If you want to eat it yourself, don't put it in with your axolotl. That's what I say. So the short answer is, can you use live plants in your axolotl tank? You absolutely can, but just think sensibly. It's an expensive little habit there, isn't it? It's an expensive chair to provide for an axolotl for him to sit his big backside on it and squash it for you. So think outside of the box. Use fake plants is my opinion. But also just be very careful what you use with fake plants too. Anything that kind of come off, any loose leaves or anything, chances are the axolotl will have a go at eating them. Just think that as well. Be sensible now. Sensible is the way, as my grandfather would say. The next question is, how my axolotl has stopped eating and he has curled gills. What should I do? Oh no, what do I do? There's a few reasons this might be happening. People instantly assume, oh my god, my axolotl is stressing out. His gills are curled and he's got no appetite. He didn't eat for a whole day. What do I do? What do I do? And it's meltdown. The truth be told, axolotls curl gills quite frequently. Usually, if it's long term, it can be down to stress and inconvenience, and they're not happy in the tank, they're not happy in their environment, the waters might be off. There's loads of reasons as to why their gills might be curling. It is a sign of stress, it is a concerning sight to see, but it's also something to do when they're curious too. And not enough people talk about this, but they do it out of curiosity. They do it out of curiosity too. So for example, there's a picture, I'll pop it up here, I think I've used it in previous videos as well. But basically I had one of those little attachments that you attach to your phone charger. I haven't got it to hand to show you actually. And I popped it onto my charger, it's a little axolotl one. And I attached it to my charger. And I popped my charger where it normally goes, next to the aquarium at the time, which was currently upstairs. And Pixel and Flick were soon quick to notice this little axolotl. And they end up swimming over and just looking at it for a good 20 minutes. And the whole time they were like, what? And their gills were so curled. And it's a curious thing too. They do it out of curiosity as well. So if you see your axolotl with curled gills, Yes, it can be something more and it can be more problematic, but the chances are if it's short-lived, they were just concerning or stressing about something that they didn't really need to stress about. If it's long-term, you have to look at things like your filtration, you have to look at things like your water parameters, temperatures, all that fun stuff that you have to kind of remember to check to make sure your axolotl is happy. Loss of appetite can be down to being gravid and expecting eggs. It can also be down to, again, bad water quality, bad temperature keeping, tank's too small, unhappy in the tank environment. There's many things as to reasons as to why your axolotl might have curled gills and might not eat. If you'd like me to talk about that in a future video, then let me know and I'd be happy, absolutely happy to do so. Now this is a little bit of an odd one, but I do get this quite a lot and I'm quite flattered by it, so thank you very much. A lot of people like to compliment the old beard over here and they go, is it real? I can confirm it's definitely real. And can they stroke it? Go on, get it out of your system. Go on, have a fondle. No one needs to know. Between me and you, just keep it quiet. Go on, have a go. A lot of people compliment the beard and ask if it's real. It's real, it's not fake. And can they touch it? Yes, you can touch. You can touch. You can touch. So I would be absolutely crucified if I didn't share some sort of footage of my axolotl. So when I do little videos like this, if you're brave enough and strong enough to last till the end of the video, I'll always put in a couple of minutes of video footage of my axolotl. So although this face is very hairy and very fondable apparently, is that even a word? Fondable. 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 Obviously axolotls is why you're here. It's not for my face, my big hairiness. So without further ado, let's go and check out my axolotls. And there you have it, that is another video in the bag for this week. Thank you all so much for stopping by, checking out my content. You can also get in contact with the relevant information above here. There is other avenues and other ways you can connect, not just solely through YouTube, so be sure to hit me up on Instagram and also Twitter as well. If you haven't done so already, please be sure to hit the like button. It just lets me know that I'm doing something that you enjoy in regards to my content. Also hit the subscribe button, as that will keep you in the loop, and then ding that bell because that will notify you every week, which is on a Monday when I upload. Next week's video is going to be something interesting and I'm hoping you enjoy it. The week after I'm going to probably be patched up because I have my surgery. So thank you all so much for your well wishes and I'll see you all very, very soon. So ta-ta for now. Woohoo! That's getting a little bit old on the knees, that one. That's a talk for now. Woo! Oh, my knees. Give me a moment. I'll have to get a stair lift. That's what I'll have to do. I'll have to get one of those adjustable chairs. Okay. That's it for this week. Ta-ta for now. That'll work, won't it? Yeah, sorted. See you next week.